Future Dana here. We're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, and you can help us out by sharing the channel and clicking the subscribe button. And when we reach 10,000, we're going to do a giveaway. So if you want to know what that's about, help us out. Hi, Dana here. Welcome to Solo and Create. I'm glad you joined us today. And if you like our content, be sure you click that subscribe button. We're working really hard to reach our next subscriber goal. Also, if you like what we do, we have a Patreon page where you can support us in that way with multiple tiers and bonus content on our Patreon page. We also have sewing kits on our Etsy shop with most of the tutorials that we have here on the channel. For today's project, we're going to be making something that's fun and you can take it with you when you travel. And it's a to-go tic-tac-toe board. So it rolls up. Game board's on one side. Pocket for your pieces is on the other. So let's get started. For today's project, the tic-tac-toe board to go, you'll need the following supplies, and I'll put all the sizes in the description so if it's easier to look it up there. You'll need 3 pieces of fabric that are 8.5 by 8.5 square, and I use 2 pieces that match for the body of my tic-tac-toe board, and then 1 you'll need for your pocket. So you'll need those 3 pieces, and then you'll need 15 inches of ribbon, and you can use ribbon, or on this I used like a lace tape. You'll need 4 pieces that are contrasting to your backing that are 1 inch by 7 inch, and you'll need 4 of those strips, and those strips actually make up the game board itself. And then you'll need 2 different colors of felt, and I cut squares that are about 1.5 inches, and I cut 5 of each color. So to get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pocket and fold it in half. Now we folded our pocket in half, and we're going to press the folded edge, because when we go to the machine, we're going to top stitch that to reinforce that pocket. Then we're going to fold it in half the other direction just to find the center so that we can stitch that, because we need 2 sections of our pocket. Then we're going to take one of our body pieces, fold it in half just to find the center. And that's to help us line up a couple of different things. We're going to fold it in half this way so we can make sure we line up our pocket straight. Then we're going to fold it in half this way. And I'm only going to iron from the center out. I'm not going to iron that center. And this is to help us find where we're going to put our ribbon. So when we go to the machine, we're going to stitch across our pocket, and then we're going to baste it in place and add our ribbon. So let's go to the machine. First thing we're going to do is stitch across the top edge of our pocket. And I'm using the inside edge of my foot as my guide because I want this to be fairly narrow. So we're just going to go all the way across the top, and I'm stitching the folded edge of our pocket. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pocket and we're going to baste it in place on the body of the fabric that we pressed. So I'm going to line it up here at the bottom, and I pressed that so I could see the crease, the fold. I know it's hard to see on camera, but that way I always do that just to make sure if I've cut this just a little bit oversized, I know where the center of my backing is and the center of my pocket. And I'm just going to put a couple of clips to hold it so it doesn't shift on me. And we're going to start right here at this edge. Start right here at the top of my pocket. And again, I'm basting this in place, so I want to use the inside edge of my foot so it's very narrow. And I'm going all the way around to the other edge. When I come to that corner, I'm going to leave my needle down, lift my presser foot, rotate my project, making sure it lines up with the inside edge, and keep going. Next, we're going to stitch down the center of our pocket, and that's the reason I folded it here, was to line it up, but to also give me a straight line that I could stitch down. So I know it's hard to see on the camera, but there is that fold there, and I'm going to stitch right down that fold. I'm going to start here just below the top edge. I'm going to stitch and then back stitch to reinforce it, and then go forward again. Going right down that folded crease. Next, I'm going to take my ribbon, and I've folded my ribbon in half, and I want my loose ends to be out away from the edge of my project. So I'm going to hold it in place. I want it just above that pocket, about 1/2 inch, because if you put it right here in the dead center, it's a little bit harder to get things in and out of this pocket. So I'm going to put it just above there. Actually, I want it this way. I'm sorry. So that when we fold it and rotate it, it'll go that way. So you put the crease, the folded edge, on the edge of your project. And we're just going to, again, base that in place, so we want a very narrow seam. I'm going to stitch across it, back stitch, so to secure it really well. Now we'll go back to the mat for the next part. Now we're going to set our pocket unit to the side, and we're going to work on our tic-tac-toe board. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to always press my fabric so that they're nice and straight with no creases or wrinkles in them. I'm going to do that first. Then we're going to lay out our board, and we're going to do it 2 strips at a time. And if you notice, I cut my strips at 7 inches and my backing is 8.5, and that's to give me plenty of room to put my board where it will not be anywhere close to my seam allowance. So you're going to put it on the board, and I just kind of eyeball it. So I'll lay these 2 out, then I'll take my other 2 and kind of lay them out like this, just to make sure it's kind of even. And you can always take one of your felt pieces and make sure it fits in your squares. And that looks pretty good to me. And pretty even. Projects like this, you want to make them as well as you can, but they don't have to be perfect. So, okay, then I'm going to remove these top 2 strips because we're going to stitch them one at a time, one unit section at a time. So I'm going to pin these in place, and I like to pin the top and the bottom so it doesn't move on me or bow out. And when we go to the machine, we're going to use a zigzag, and we're going to zigzag all the way around these 2. Then we'll put these in place and zigzag around those. So let's go to the machine. I've set my machine up to stitch a zigzag stitch, and if you need to know how to do that, I have a short, and I'll put a link in the description on how to set your machine typically for a zigzag. So I like to use the inside edge of my foot because I want this zigzag right on that edge. So I'm going to line it up, and I've also set it for a very narrow zigzag. I don't want it to cross over too much. And I'm starting on one of the long sides of my strip rather than at the bottom because that gives me a little more room to stitch and then turn. Then when I get to the corner, again, I'm going to leave my needle down. I'm going to lift my presser foot and turn and just keep going. Then when I come back to where I started, I'm just going to cross those stitches a little bit and back stitch. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. Now we have those two in place. I'm going to move my machine back just a little bit so I can lay out right here and show you how to line up the next two. So then I'm going to take my other two pieces and I'm going to just, again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And I have my felt piece to kind of see how all the sections work. And I'm going to pin those in place. Then we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start kind of right here. I'm not going to start right here because that would show up much more. So I'm going to start where these kind of overlap. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to stitch all the way around them using that narrow zigzag stitch. Now we have that one done. I'm going to finish this one off camera and I'll meet you back at the mat. Now we've built our game board and we're ready to put our body of our project together. The reason I did a zigzag around these pieces instead of a straight stitch is so they won't fray as much over time. So once you clean up all the loose threads, that should stop fraying, and that just keeps it a little nicer over time. So now we're going to take our board and leave it face up or right side up. We're going to take our pocket unit and I'm going to tuck my ribbon into my pocket just a little bit and push it towards the middle, the ends, so that they don't slide over here and get caught when I stitch this together. Then I'm going to put that pocket unit right side down so that my right sides are together. And I'm going to clip it in place and we're going to leave an opening right down here at the bottom. So I'm going to use my red and green clip method, and it doesn't have to be a very big opening, so we can turn it right side out. And then I'm going to clip it all the way around. And I want to be sure I clip where that ribbon is, so when I come to that, I can kind of feel and make sure that ribbon is out of the way in my pocket area. So we're going to go to the machine, start here at our green, and stitch all the way around and stop at our red, leaving this small opening at the bottom. So we'll go to the machine. Now we're going to put our project together. We're going to start here at the green, so I'm going to take that clip off. And now we're using the full width of our machine foot as our seam allowance. And be sure you set your machine back to a straight stitch for this section. So I'm going to start here and go all the way around. Again, when I come to my corner, I'm going to leave my needle down, lift and turn, lining up that edge again, and keep going. And remember, I'm going to stop right here at my red clip. Now we'll go back to the mat, turn it right side out, and move on to the next section. Before I turn my project right side out, I like to flip it over and make sure I caught everything really well. And I know it's hard to see on the camera, but it looks like I did. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to reduce the bulk in my corners by cutting on the diagonal. Now I do have two lines of stitching here. I have my basting stitch and my stitching where I put my project together. I want to make sure that I don't get anywhere close to the one where I put my project together, which is my wider seam allowance. And in this bottom corners, you're cutting through a lot of fabric because you have the double layer for the pocket and then the 2 layers of the body of the piece too. So then we're going to find our opening down here at the bottom and turn it right side out. Then we're going to use our chopstick to get our corners out nicely. And you just want to do that gently so that you don't rip your stitches out. Then we're going to press our project, and I like to kind of roll my seams. That makes them lay down flat before I press it. And I just want to make sure that down here at the bottom that this fabric turns in, so when we top stitch all the way around, it will turn in nicely and close that opening. So I'm going to press it all nice and flat. And I'm going to leave my ribbons out to the side, so when I top stitch, they're stitched down but facing out away from the project. So let's go to the machine and top stitch. Now we're going to top stitch all the way around, and again I'm using the inside edge of my foot as my guide, and I want to start, my open starts right here. I want to begin just above that opening, and we're going to go all the way around. In these corners you have a lot of bulk, so sometimes you have to turn it and then give it what I call a little bit of encouragement and just kind of gently pull the fabric to get it started. Then when I get back over here to my ribbons, I want to make sure they're laying flat out to the side so that I don't get them caught. And then also right at this pocket edge, when I'm headed this direction, I want to make sure it doesn't flip back on me. Now our project is done, so we can add our tic-tac-toe pieces in each pocket. Roll it up. I like to starting from the edge where the ribbon, across from the ribbon, roll it up. And tie it. And our project is ready to travel. I hope you liked today's project, the Tic-Tac-Toe board to go. And if you do have a travel game that you like to take on the road, leave a comment below so we can all share in that. See you next time.